Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on Indian ethos in management, and we'll be continue our discussion on the topic of the factors responsible for poor work ethos. And in continuation to the previous discussion where we talk about lack of clear expectations as one of the important factor responsible for poor work ethos. Moving ahead, we'll talk about the second reason, second factor, that is poor leadership. Now, people very often say, can leadership also be poor? Yes, of course, it can be. And when I say poor leadership, it means there is a reflection of lack of direction, lack of motivation, lack of trust among employees. Suppose if I am leading a project and I am not able to direct my workforce, I am not able to motivate them to come to the work, I am not able to build trust among my employees, it means my leadership is not rich, it is actually a poor leadership. Now, the question comes how to solve it, how to uh, take up this situation. Of course, if we remove these problems, lack of direction, motivation and trust among employees, then my leadership is going to improve. And for that, we need to develop effective leadership skills. We need to promote transparency and we need to lead by example. We very often say, and we have practiced also, that the best leader is the one who is the best follower. If I am a good follower, then only I can become a better leader. Unless I follow others, I cannot become a leader, because while following others, I can lead by examples. That see, as a manager, as a leader, I am performing my duties, and of course, in the same manner, you should also perform. So, this is another reason or factor responsible for poor work ethos. If your employees are working directionless, if they are demotivated, if they don't trust each other, then of course the reason for this is poor leadership. The entire responsibility lies in the leadership only, because it is my duty as a leader to offer them direction, to motivate them and to ensure that each and employee is trusting each other. So, this is another reason. Third reason for poor work ethos is negative organizational culture. Sometimes in due course of our functioning, we automatically develop a work culture which is negative. Now, what is the reflection of that negative work culture? If you find that your employees are having their morale is very low, they resist to change, and you are having high level of attrition rate, employees are frequently leaving your organization, it means these symptoms are giving a reflection of negative organization culture. So, your organization has developed a culture which is full of negativity, because morale of your employees are very low. They are not at all in an acceptance mode to change. They don't accept changes. They want whatever is going on, let it go on, and that is why the turnover rate is very high. So, bright employees will definitely leave such type of organization, because there is no change. There is complete monotony in your organization. So, of course, they will not stay there. The question comes how to solve it. To solve it, we need to foster a positive culture. So, first of all, eliminate negativity and then infuse positivity. So, for eliminating negativity, we have to follow certain steps, and for infusing positivity, we need to foster a positive culture through communication. We need to talk to our employees. We need to recognize their achievements, and there has to be alignment of values. They should be communicated about the value of the organization, the value system which my company is following, which our company follows. And if we are somehow able to do so, we will be able to eliminate negativity and infuse greater amount of positivity among employees. So, negative organizational culture is another reason or factor responsible for poor work ethos. Next is lack of recognition and reward. Sometimes my employees are not, their contributions are not recognized, they are not adequately rewarded, and that results into demotivation, disengagement and decreased productivity. Employees they don't feel that sense of belongingness to the organization, and it is because of lack of recognition and reward. An employee work day and night to achieve a certain goal, to fulfill the commitment which my company has made, and there is no recognition and reward for that work. So, of course, next time the employee will not run extra miles for that, because there is a demotivation, there is a sense of disengagement, and all this is going to result into decreased productivity. To solve this situation, we need to implement fair and transparent reward system. There has to be a transparent reward system. If you fulfill your commitment, if organization is able to fulfill its commitment, then of course you will be duly rewarded. We need to acknowledge and appreciate contributions. See, appreciating others is nowadays it has become very difficult. People want appreciation for themselves, but they hardly appreciate somebody else. They always try to work as a member of fact finding committee or fault finding committee, I would say. So, we should not behave like a member of a fault finding committee. We should acknowledge and appreciate the positive contributions of our subordinates, and if we are somehow able to do so, of course we are going to ensure the establishment of positive work ethos, rich work ethos into our organization. There can be some personal factors beyond all this. There can be some personal factors also which are related to that employee. It can be attitude, motivation, and personal values influence. They are going to have impact on work ethos. How to solve it? We need to encourage the self awareness. We need to, I have already told you about this process of encouraging self awareness when we were talking about self management. So, we should encourage self awareness, we should provide opportunities for personal development of workforce, and we need to promote a positive mindset, and that will actually result into positive attitude, that will ensure my employees are motivated, and of course, the personal values will become positive, and eventually that will be reflected into the positive results or success of a business enterprise. So, my dear learners, these are the important factors which are very much crucial for ensuring positive work ethos in any business enterprise or in any organization. So, we need to identify and address those factors which are responsible for poor work ethos, and it becomes very essential for fostering a positive work culture and achieving excellence in the workplace. If we wish to achieve excellence in the workplace, we need to identify those factors which are responsible for the poor work ethos, and we should eliminate that negativity and infuse positivity in order to ensure the excellence in the organization. So, this was all about the work ethos and the factors responsible, different dimensions of work ethos, and the factors which are responsible for negative work ethos and how to tackle it. The next topic of our discussion here is significance of value system in work culture. People say that this organization is not following a value system. It is not having a good value system. The work culture is rotten, and the company is not having any value system in its employees. The question comes that repeatedly we are finding this word of value and system into our discussion. So, let us define what is value system, what is the significance of value system in work culture, and eventually we will move towards Indian value system and what is the impact of it on work culture in our discussion. So, let us talk about introduction to value system. What is value system? If I have to define value system, I would say it refers to a set of guiding principles, beliefs and standards which actually influences behavior, decision and interaction within an organization. Whatever is the guiding principle, belief or standard we are following, that is the value system we have established, and the kind of value system we have established, it will actually be reflected into the behaviors, decisions and interactions of our employees, our workforce within the organization as well as beyond the organization. So, if my employee is misbehaving with a client, there is a clear reflection of the rotten value system which we have somehow inculcated into our system. So, our guiding principle, beliefs and standards are supposed to be in order. They are supposed to ensure positivity, and if my employees are working or behaving in a positive manner, their decisions are responsible, they are taking responsibility of their decisions, their interactions are very clear or proper, then of course my company has established a sound value system, and the value system is basically reflected into our actions and behaviors. Now, the values, they shape the culture, norms and ethics of a workplace. If you want to see the shape, the culture, the norms and ethics of a workplace, it actually emanates from the value system which the company has established, and it eventually plays a very significant role in determining the success of organization and also the satisfaction of employees. Your employees will only be satisfied, your organization will only succeed when your employees are satisfied, and your employees will only be satisfied when your organization is having a sound value system, a proper value system which shapes the culture, norms and ethics at your workplace, and it actually makes the entire atmosphere conducive for the workforce. Unless you have a good culture, unless you have a proper norms and ethics at workplace, your employees will not find the workplace to be conducive. They will not be motivated to work. Now, the question comes, what is the significance of value system in work culture? Why are we talking about value system this much in terms of work culture? What is the significance of it? When we talk about the alignment with organizational goals, it actually comes from the value system only. As an employee, I will never feel associated with the achievement of organizational goals unless my organization follows a value system in its work culture. My conduct will not be ethical. Employees will not feel engaged. In decision making process also at times will be indecisive, and workplace relationship will also not be good. Customer will not be satisfied if we don't have a proper value system, a well crafted value system in our work culture. I will be telling you these components one by one, that what is the significance of value system in work culture. So, let us start with the alignment with organizational goals. There are number of theories which actually talk about relating your goals, the personal goals, with that of organizational goals. If we look at the Z theory of motivation, it actually speaks about this only. A strong value system ensures alignment between the two, alignment between the individual behaviors and organizational objectives, and it fosters a sense of purpose and unity among employees. We are having a sense of purpose, we are not moving purposeless, we are having a purpose that my company has taken a lead, it has taken a target of, it has set a target of achieving this much, and so is my responsibility. So, I am having the same purpose, and it will actually ensure the unity among employees. So, at least there is a point where there is a consensus among all employees. All employees are having consensus for that organizational goals, that my personal goals are aligned with that of organizational goals, and that is actually something which we are getting from the value system which we have established into our business organization or into our organization. So, whatever sector we are working, regardless of that, alignment with organizational goals are the most significant one to ensure the success of any organization, and it actually comes from the rich value system only, the strong value system only. The second one is ethical conduct. If I talk about the ethical conduct of my company, then of course my company is behaving through its employees only. My company is operating through its employees only. So, the ethical conduct of my workforce would be reflected into the organizational ethical conduct, the ethical conduct of organization. The values, they basically promote ethical behavior, they promote integrity, they promote transparency in all aspects of work. It enhances trust, credibility and reputation. If company is being conducted in an ethical manner, then of course people will have faith into this kind of organization. and this actually originates from the values. It is the value system only which promotes ethical behavior. Nothing else is going to promote the ethical behavior of any business enterprise. At times companies are nowadays complaining that my employees are no more engaged. People talk about using technology for taking attendance of their workforce. You can keep your employees within the four walls of your organization, your office, but how would you ensure that they are productive? You can make use of the technology for taking their attendance, the entry time and the out time, but how would you ensure that while remaining in the four walls of your office, employees are productive, they are getting productive? For that they should have that employee engagement, that sense of engagement, and that comes only from the value system which you have developed, which you have crafted in your organization. So, a value based culture promotes employee engagement, motivation and commitment by offering a sense of belongingness and fulfillment. If I believe that this organization is mine, I am actually part and parcel of this organization. This is my family, this is my workplace, this is my duty, this is my job, and I get fulfillment in while performing my duties, then of course I am engaged as an employee. So there is no dearth of employee engagement, and that actually comes from the value based culture which we are supposed to craft into our organization. So, employee engagement will not be an issue if my company, my organization is having a value system, a value based culture, value based work culture into my organization. It will promote the employee engagement, it will ensure that my employees stay motivated for their work, they stay committed for their work, they stay committed for their duties. The next one is decision making. Sometimes people say that in an organizational setup, at times there is an ambiguity. Who is taking decision? Who is going to make decision? Decision maker is at times they are missing. So this it is a value system which guides decision making processes. It enables employees to make ethical and responsible choices which benefit the organization as well as its stakeholders. So, if my employees, my workforce is guided by the value based decision making processes, of course, they will make the smart choices, they will make ethical and responsible choices, which is not only beneficial for the company, organization, but also for each and every stakeholders. So, decision making is also supported by the value system which we have developed. Now, you must be thinking, sir, do you think that these points can be simply written into the laws and bylaws or guidelines of a company and we can say that we have established the value system? No, answer is no. You have to draft it, that is fine, but beyond that drafting you need to implement it. If you are writing that your organization is value based, you follow a strong value system into your organization, you have written, but what about the practice? So, your employee, if your workforce is finding transparency, if the workforce is finding similarity in walk and talk, or whatever you are talking, whether you walk that or not, so that is going to guide the entire decision making process. You have to walk your talk. Whatever you have said, you have to actually fulfill that. Whatever you have drafted, you have to actually implement that. If you say that you recognize and reward the contribution of a workforce, you need to do it. By simply writing, your job is not done. So, the value system is going to be built by you only. There is nobody else who is going to come and establish a value system into your company. It is not an instrument which you can buy from the market and install into your office. No, it is the work culture which you are going to develop. It is part and parcel of your work culture. The next one is workplace relationships. The kind of relationship your employees are sharing at workplace. Values such as respect, collaboration and empathy, these are the key ingredients of workplace relationships. whether we respect our superiors and subordinates or not. People think that respect is for superiors only. No, even for subordinates, there has to be a sense of respect. Whatever duty a person is performing, regardless of the hierarchy, regardless of the rank and hierarchy, we should respect each and every task which is being performed into our organization. If a person is doing the cleaning work in the organization, that should also be respected. We should respect, we should collaborate, we should have empathy with our workforce. And if we do all this, it facilitates positive workplace relationships, it ensures teamwork, and of course, if there is a teamwork, there is a mutual support of each and every workforce for each other. So they behave like made for each other, and once they all are working for the achievement of organizational goals, nothing can stop that organization from flourishing and marking its presence not only at national level but also at global level, or you can say universal level. The next one is, which is the most significant one, the customer satisfaction. It is something which you can only achieve with the strong value system in your work culture. Unless your work culture is supported by a well designed and implemented strong value system, you cannot find your customers to be satisfied. A value driven culture prioritizes customer satisfaction because it emphasizes the quality, reliability, and service excellence. If you are driven by, if your organizational culture is driven by the value, it is value based, value driven culture, then of course you will give top priority to the satisfaction of your customer. And your customer will only be satisfied when your performance is as per the expectations of a customer, when you equate your performance with that of expectations of a customer. And for that, what we need to do, we need to focus on quality, reliability, and service excellence. By merely making a promise, you cannot ensure your customers to be satisfied. Nowadays, companies, they are running extra miles. They want the customers to feel delighted beyond their expectations. They are trying to serve. They are offering services par excellence, and that comes from the value driven work culture which we establish in due course of our operations. Now, when we talk about the value system, it becomes imperative for us to talk about the Indian value system, because we very often talk about the Indian value system and its influence on work culture. Since we are having discussion in the Indian scenario, we should know what is Indian value system. I would give some examples here of Indian value system. The first one is family orientation. India is the only country where we talk about the family orientation. We are the only country which is known for having a joint family system. Indian culture emphasizes family values. Where we respect for elders and a sense of belonging, which often extends to the workplace. If we are respecting our elders, it actually, whatever orientation we have at our family, the same is actually passed on to the workplace also. And if we are able to do so, it fosters a supportive and inclusive work environment. And that is why in some of the organization in Indian scenario, we say that my organization is like a family for me. It is an extended family of mine. So this family orientation is the best example of Indian value system. In Indian value system, it is the most significant one which we very often talk about, family orientation. The second one is spirituality and ethics. When we talk about spirituality and ethical principles, they are integral part of Indian culture, and they shape business practices, decision making processes, organizational ethics in alignment with moral values. So spirituality and ethics, they are also another important component of Indian value system. When we talk about collectivism, Indian societal values, or if we talk about the Indian society values, they value collectivism and community welfare. We are the only country where we talk about the charity, where we talk about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. we are praying for the well-being of each and every one. So, Indian society values collectivism and community welfare, and that translates into teamwork, collaboration and mutual support in the workplace. So, my dear learners, I just thought of giving you some examples from Indian value system just to give a reflection the way we can build a strong value system in our business organization. So, we need to have respect for authority. Apart from collectivism, we have respect for authority. Indian value system places importance on respecting authority. We respect our authority figures and hierarchy, and it actually influences organizational structures, leadership styles and communication patterns. While speaking to our superiors, we always pay due respect to them. We always stay polite, and that is the best example of respect for authority. So, these are some of the examples for giving you an idea about the Indian value system. So, in this way, my dear learners, we have talked about the value system at workplace. How does it affects our productivity, our success, customer satisfaction and all. I hope you must have enjoyed today's lecture of mine. Thank you so much.